Hi guys, what's up? Hello and welcome. I know it's been a very, 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 very long time. It's not been that long. Let me stop. But I did take a break for personal reasons in January. Like I just needed a break. I'm doing a lot. I like to do a lot. So I needed a break. But your girl is back and she is ready and I'm booked and busy. But YouTube is something that I have fallen in love with, and I love doing these live interviews and just talking to people. It's been such an amazing journey. Thank you to everyone that has supported last year, and I hope that your support for me and this platform will continue to grow in this year. So as you can tell, it's a mashup episode. It's the first episode for the year, and Stephan is also the first guy that I've ever had in my Hear My Journey series. So it's a lot of firsts for me today. But as usual, we'll do the countdown and then we'll come back in. I'll read Stephan's bio for you and then we're going to have a nice conversation. If you want to ask Stephan anything, please leave it in the comment section and we will get to it. So this mashup episode, hopefully the first of many, will start in 30 seconds. All right, welcome back. Well, I guess welcome to me. So I'm just going to quickly read Stephan's bio for you guys, and then I'm going to bring him on. And we have a lot of things to talk about today. We're going to talk a little bit about his hair, his natural hair journey, and then we're also going to talk a little bit about his business. Of course, supporting Black business is important. So I'm going to read his bio for you right now. So Stephan Massiah, he has a company that's called RighteXposure, and it's a media company specializing in photography, videography, and graphic design for all occasions. The company currently operates as a sole trader and was birthed out of his passion for videography. The business was officially registered in 2020. However, he has been personally pursuing this venture of photography and videography since the year 2017. At this point, Stephan is grateful that he gets to do something that is fun and that gives him fulfillment. I've also went ahead and linked his Instagram page and his YouTube channel below. So if you guys want to support, those are just the small ways that you can support him by following him on Instagram. That way you keep up to date with the content that he has coming out. Or you can go ahead and subscribe to his YouTube channel and watch, because that's also a way of support. So without further ado, please put your virtual hands together as we welcome Stephan Massiah to the platform.
Hey guys. Hey, thanks for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's indeed my pleasure. So tell me and tell the people, how are you doing? How are you feeling? How has COVID been treating you?
Well, that's a deep question. I am great. First of all, I'm great. How is COVID treating me? I want to say good. So I don't want to just fly across the fact that COVID-19 is a big deal. It's devastating a lot of families, But at the same time, I found that throughout the pandemic, persons have found amazing ways to be innovative. Because we're facing something that we've never faced before. And so similarly for me, COVID has kind of brought me, my business boomed a lot within COVID because I learned a lot of new skills that I didn't have before and I didn't have a reason to sort of pursue. So in that regard, I'm sort of thankful for being put through that kind of situation.
I hear you. It is what COVID has definitely devastated a lot of households, but I'm happy that you were able to find some growth. I definitely think that happened for me, so I was able to explore. Even this was birthed out of COVID, and it's like boredom, but I love it now. So, so I'm doing it. You have love coming in already, which is great to see. So let's jump straight in. We're going to talk about your natural hair journey first. And I mentioned it earlier, but I just want to mention it to you that you are the first guy that I have on my Hear My Journey series. So no pressure.
Oh my God. Thank you guys so very much. Thank you.
Yeah. But I'm happy that you're here, and I think in this day and age, it's very I want to talk to the guys and get their perspective on this whole natural hair journey thing. So I want to start by asking you, how long have you been? Well, I'm sure I know some guys that have texturized their hair or permed their hair. You know, we have Jocks and there was this other guy that used to sing. I can't remember. I don't want to pronounce it wrong. But how long have you been, or let's say, growing your hair out to this extent then?
Well, so that's a tricky question, but mainly because I have grown out my hair and cut it a little bit and grow it again and then cut it and grow it. So that whole cutting and growing process, so this in and out relationship with my natural hair has been going on for like the last, I want to say 10 years.
Oh, wow.
The last 10 years, yeah. So it's a long relationship. We in it for the long haul, you know, to get the best part.
I love to see it.
Only recently I explored this whole bleaching, which I know is harmful to your hair. So I didn't, use a super strong bleach, and I didn't bleach it for very long. And I just did the ends. So in case I need to cut it or anything, I could trim that, and we still have these boys growing on the hair.
So, you said you've been in and out, you've had a on and off relationship with, growing your hair, cutting your hair. So one thing I want to talk to you about or ask you about is because I know you would have been through school. I know you did most of the latter part of your formal education in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yep.
So in Guyana, do you mind if I tell people that that's where you're from? Do you mind? I don't know.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So in Guyana, where you're from, some students tend to get the fight down is real in terms of being able to wear your hair the way it's supposed to be here. The hairstyles that are deemed acceptable in our schools are sometimes devastating to our edges or other things, and it's not suitable for hair growth or hair retention or healthy hair. So I want to know if you had a similar experience like that in Trinidad, and if so, how did you overcome such an experience?
So, I mean, this is obviously sort of a tricky topic because then we're starting to get somewhere into racism. But let's not go all the way there. Let's not go all the way there.
You can knock on the door and I run away.
No problem. But just kind of take a look at my hair, right? It's really not very long, like in the grand scheme of things. Let me just put that back. But when I was in secondary school, I remember on countless occasions, my teachers, well, one teacher in particular, would tell me that I need to cut my hair. And then, I went to an all-boys school, and I am seeing other guys who are of East Indian descent with longer hair. It's just that their hair falls naturally because it's softer. And so, like, his hair is longer than mine, but nobody's telling him to cut his. And it's not to say that my hair was blocking anybody. I was sitting down at the back of the class because that's the vibes. And then I would even like put it in like what do you call that? Like a band.
Oh, okay.
Just let the band come like here, so it holds it down a little bit.
So like a headband then.
Yes.
And not like a full. Oh, okay.
So I don't get what the whole issue. I mean, at that point in time, it was longer than it is now. But it's like I was being ostracized simply because my hair grows up and it doesn't fall down. And I didn't fully, truly understand that. There was even a point in time where the church that I used to go to, or attended at the time, one of the ladies was like, what are you doing with that hair? You need me to cut it for you or whatever. And I didn't. It's like, why? What is wrong with my hair?
What's wrong with your hair? Exactly.
People don't realize it, but like for some persons, your hair could mean a lot to you. The reason I started growing my hair initially, and this is not something I talk about a lot, was out of a sort of lack of self-confidence. In that I didn't like the shape of my head. I thought it was weird. I just didn't like it. I mean, now I'm a little more comfortable with myself, but so I started to grow out my hair so I don't have to see the shape of my head and I could kind of hide under this hair. And so to do that, to kind of try to hide from myself and then still, dealing with the backlash of people just not liking my hair because of the way my hair, like, what am I supposed to do about that? Change my jeans?
Exactly.
Yeah. I could see how that could be a bit much for other persons. Now, as a guy, I think it's a lot easier for me to just cut my hair. But for some girls, I know if you cut off all your hair, there is a stigmatism attached to that. So then if you also getting negative criticism for growing out your hair, it's like, okay, what do you do?
Exactly.
You know?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
And these are kind of rock and a hard place because I have had some, well, you're the first guys. I've had a lot of girls on this platform. And, some of them that would have talked about doing the big chop spoke a lot about being called young men or boys or such and such. And
Which is
those
not
kind
cool.
of things. Which is not cool.
Yeah.
Yes. So, and then they would also, when they started growing out the hair in its natural state, then they would get a lot of fight down. So we really are in what people call a rock and a hard place.
Yep.
And so that's why I wanted to, create this platform so that we can celebrate our natural hair, but I also want to help educate people so that when we talk about some of the things in our hair, because sometimes when we speak up, we're told, oh, we're dragging it or we're being too extra. But I really want people to understand what we deal with sometimes with just our hair. Like we can't even, we deal with so much with just our skin color and stuff like that, but our hair as well. Like it's just.
Yep. That is so true.
Yeah.
And then what I've recognized as well is apart from just the texture of your hair, like some of the styles that people choose to put their hair in. So let's say, for example, braids. If you see a dark skinned girl with braids, and then you see a lighter skinned girl with braids, we sort of see that as two different hairstyles. So it's like, it's cool for one person to braid their hair, and then when the other person does it, it's like, oh, that's so ghetto.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, why? I don't understand.
It's a lot we have to deal with, but I hope that more people will come to the forefront and talk about these things and be honest in our truth about that. These are the things that we have to go through. You have a comment here. It's saying that you're fearfully and wonderfully made. Thanks for being so brutally open. And
that's right.
Exactly.
And so we're talking about all these issues in terms of being judged for your appearance, but I think that's not something we'll be able to escape, because I could be white, I could have no hair, I could be a male and have that male privilege, and somebody's still gonna criticize me for it. I could be a black woman with nappy hair, and somebody's still gonna criticize me for it. It's like you can't escape it. And that whole knowing that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, you are perfectly designed as you are, and accepting that as your truth, that is the beginning of not getting rid of, but overcoming the criticism, because it's like that don't even matter because that's not even true.
Yeah. Exactly. At this point, I just want to say, can we pass the offering plate? Because that was a word.
Hallelujah.
Oh my God. Wow, you're preaching. So we have a question here for you. And it asks, well, I know you said this is your first time bleaching, but did you ever play around with other colors in your hair?
So no. So another thing about it is I grew up in a very conservative household.
Yeah, I say the same thing.
Yeah. It's less conservative now. Also, I'm older now, but a lot of things I wasn't really allowed to do, or I didn't think I would be allowed to do. But coloring my hair, that was a no, because I asked.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it was like, I know it might be a no, but let me try anyway. And then it's like, no. Like, yep, I knew it would be a no. So it's all right, it's cool, we cool. But last year, I decided, you know what? And I was also in a kind of reclaiming my voice kind of space, because I was dealing with a lot of things inside of me in ways in which I was condemning myself and stuff like that. It's like, bro, own yourself, love yourself. I was like, yo, I want to dye my hair, right? I wanted to dye my hair. It's like, okay. Again, so I bought the bleach, I bought the dye, and I had it there for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And then it's like, hey, let's do this today. A friend of mine was actually, he's like, hey, you have this stuff there, let's do it today. It's like today, and I put it off to the next day and the next day, and it's like, all right, no, today. And so I got Jewel, who is my younger sister, and who is a little more familiar with, because she has bleached her hair before.
Okay.
Like, all right, Jewel, could you bleach this? You can help me bleach this. So I mean, I watch the YouTube tutorials and everything, because you know how to do. You can't do these things without watching a YouTube tutorial. Let's be real.
YouTube University is lit.
And that's it. And she put the bleach in, and we put this sort of transparent cap over it, and we were just looking at it. And, you know, 5 minutes passed, 10 minutes passed, and she's like, nothing really happening. It's like, I let 12 minutes pass, and she's like, let's take it off and look. And when she took off the cap, apparently, I don't know, we weren't seeing through properly. It's like, yo, no, the color actually changing. So then we went, we washed it out, and it's like, I like this. But remember, I wanted to dye my hair, not bleach.
Yeah, not bleach.
Forgive me, I am sweating, but the fan is super noisy.
That's fine.
I put the dye in, a blue dye, a kind of aquamarine something, and it looked great. And then I washed it out, and it looked mossy green, and I was like, this is not what I'm going for. This is not what I wanted. So then I was like, okay, maybe I didn't leave the dye in long enough. So I put the dye again. And I washed it out, and it looked the exact same way. And I was like, bro, this is not it.
You know, well, one fun thing with our hair is that we can do trial and errors. I think you have that experience. Maybe if you try again.
Because I haven't been doing a lot of chemical stuff to my hair. Like, this is the first time I've bleached my hair. It's strong. And so it's the breakage and the stuff like that. I don't necessarily have to worry about it as much as somebody who is constantly changing the color of the hair might. And so what I did is I waited a while, like a couple of days, and then I did a light bleach with a even weaker, I think a 10 strength activator or something like that. So just get it dyed, the bleached finish, because this looks good. You know, it's like a little sugar on top of the muffin. And it's like, okay, let me rock this, because I've never colored my hair before, and this is like a whole new I'm enjoying this.
I'm happy that you're enjoying it though. It looks good. Not to say it looks
thank you. I could give you a little side profile. You could kind of enjoy it. But yeah, I think I'll wait a little bit, and then I might attempt the color again. Either I will get a different shade of the coloring, or I will seek professional help, because I don't want that
I see some people in the comments are saying, please send Jewel, because they need help with their hair. So Jewel might be booked and busy. You know, get your bag however you can, okay?
That's right.
Okay, so before I continue with the interview, we have a question. Why are we not sipping? So I just want to know if you walk with anything to sip with today, even though we're not in a sipping Gyaff part of the program as yet.
Girl, so fun fact, I brew my own wine, like right here in my room. So when this sip and chat time come, I'll just reach across and we will get it.
Oh my God, this is great! Oh my, I didn't even know this. I did not even know this. Oh
now you know. Now you know.
So let's dish on some of your products. What are some of your favorite products that you like to use to wash your hair or keep your hair moisturized? What kind of things do you like to use?
So
your sister products.
The most important thing, and I will swear by this, you know, I'll put my head on a block for this. Water. Like, don't underestimate water, guys. Super important. So back when it was just my hair, and I actually used to sleep with my hair like this. So I would just sleep, it would get crunched down, and I would just comb it out in the morning. And like sometimes, you know, to deal with none of this, to not get any of this, I just put some water in a spray bottle, or you could just wet your hands and just dab it up. And then when you comb through, it's like magic. It's like magic.
I must say, I remember watching your sister's engagement video, and then she was like, Stephan, please comb your hair. And I just found that so funny.
Yes. So
Oh my
apart
God.
from the water,
Mhm.
there is a lot of this is my sister's products, not gonna lie. But
I was on the nose. I hit the nose with that one.
yeah, so I don't know the name of particular products,
Everything.
but oil in your scalp is super important, very important, especially when you're dealing with different types of humidity and it's drying out the moisture from your hair.
Yeah.
You might moisturize your hair, but your scalp needs attention. And so I found that argan oil, just a little bit of coconut oil, because it doesn't really smell great if you leave it in. So what I do is I mix those two together. Of course, more argan oil than coconut oil.
Then coconut.
Kind of swirl it up, and I apply it to my scalp, and it feels really good because when the breeze blows against it, it feels cool on
Nice,
the
right?
inside. Yeah. So the oils, I use the oils. In terms of like shampoo and conditioner, well, as a guy, I have the privilege of the 10-in-1 product where it's shampoo, conditioner,
I know.
soap, everything.
Scrub the bathroom with it, everything,
Put it on your fries, eat it as condiments.
Exactly. I never understand that. I never understand it. Like, why do women need a shampoo, a conditioner, a leave-in, and y'all just got 10-in-1? It's just like what?
But I found Tresemme, Head and Shoulders, as well as I can't remember the brand of it, but there is this. It's aloe vera based
nice.
conditioner. Because the important thing for me is the conditioner. I feel like when you're shampooing, you could use anything because it's just a matter of getting all the dirt and that sort of thing. But conditioner is super important. So you want a conditioner that is going to moisturize and return some of those oils that you just washed out that are actually helpful to protecting your hair. You want to return some of it. So unfortunately, I can't recommend any brands.
That's fine. We'll have his sisters on the show, guys, and we'll get the names of
Okay. But that water, don't forget the water. Don't sleep on the
water. Exactly. He said he recommended water, and I 10 out of 10 recommend water as well. So this is the final question of here I'm going to ask you before we go into the sipping part. So you want to get your hands ready to stretch for your wine that I hope to taste one day, may I just say.
For sure. Let me just see which one
So the question is coming from the comment section, and it asks, so is this a phase with growing your hair, or will you cut it off one day? Will you keep it going? What's next for the hair on Stephan's head?
That's a really good question, because I myself don't even know. But it's like a super adventurous thing for me, because like I could see myself, locking my hair, plaiting my hair, coloring it, mohawk, high top. So it's like, I don't know what will happen next, but I know I don't want to cut it all off anytime soon.
Okay.
So I'll probably do as much as I could and then cut off and go again, because this is like a playground for me, I could express myself in so many ways. Yeah,
that's the fun thing about our hair. We cut it off, it grows back, we try something else, we don't like it, we cut it off. Or even if we cut it off and you need a little, then you put some braids in. Well, I mean, you won't, I don't know if you put these in, but for the girls, we can put this in our hair. I know there are a lot of guys now that are doing the faux locks situation. I'm trying to see if I can get a guy to come on and talk about it, about the faux locks situation that they do, which, it's interesting. I would love to learn more about it, because I don't have a brother. Well, I consider you my brother. I don't have a blood brother in the house with me to ask these questions. So it's really good to have you on. So now we're going to jump to the sip and gaff section of the program. So if you're watching, make sure you get something to drink. Stephan is going to get his very fancy, very special, limited, nobody else can get it. Wine.
Grab this real quick.
And bring it for you guys. So in the meantime, while he's doing that, I'm going to tell you guys what I'll be sipping on for this segment. So my dad and I, and my sister, well, 4 to 5 people in my household, we went today to get some good old doubles from this nice Trinidadian spot. And we also got some aloo pie. And they were selling some.
Okay.
They were selling some so that you can't see because the glass is not transparent. I don't want to fall and damage up my things. But they were selling cream soda. That's a rarity here, the good kind. So I got some cream soda. I always borrow or using Sarah's stuff. This is Sarah's cup. I borrowed it and I'll be sipping on some cream soda for this segment. What will you be sipping on? Oh, no, the wine. But you could tell us a little bit about the wine. I got to bring you back on. And we just talk about this wine because you're doing a lot of things.
Yes. So this, never mind the label on the bottle. What I do is I reuse. So recycling is super important. Like when we buy glass bottles and stuff like that, I utilize those to brew my wine. So what we're looking at here is a pine and honey brew, right? So you take the pine skin after you peel your pine. You could either leave it to sit in water, which is what I usually do, or some people, to speed up the process, they boil it. They could even add a little bit of yeast to make it ferment even faster, and sugar, because yeast feeds on sucrose or glucose. But I use honey instead of sugar, and then I just leave it to sit right here in my room, because it's not super hot, but it's just warm. It's like a good temperature for stuff like this. And yeah, this should be really strong, because this is what this is about 7 months old. This right here.
Oh yeah, so, okay. Lightly, because I don't want you can't concentrate on these questions that come in.
I'll just pour it.
And I just want to know there are 2 people in the comments who saying they're minding the label on the bottle. So good to hear with that. But, I definitely need to try this wine. Hopefully one time when we're physically in the same location, we can do a sit down interview and we sit over and have a conversation of these wines. Let's do it. Once COVID is, because COVID is just mashing up everybody's plans now. So once it's safe to do that, that's something that you can pencil me in for in the future.
For sure.
So we are talking about your business. It's called RighteXposure. I love the name. So can you tell me what was the inspiration behind this company and even behind the name RighteXposure?
So, as you would have read from my bio, I have a passion for videography and photography, but more so videography. And when I started learning about videography, like one of the first things you mentioned is exposure, which basically deals with how much light you're letting into the camera and how bright or how dark your picture is going to be. So exposure is very important.
Yeah.
I also did I'm finishing up right now a degree in communication studies, and a big part of that is marketing. And within marketing, it is positioning, your company to be seen properly. Again, is a reference to exposure. So when I was thinking about coming up with a name for my company, I was like, well, RighteXposure, because I want to give the persons who I work for the right exposure. I want to put them in the right light, which is our tagline, putting you in the right light.
Oh my God, I love it. I see the plug behind you. I love it. I love it.
That's the logo.
Yeah, so before we continue, you have a question. You see these wines? We need to market these wines. So what other wines are you brewing? You see, people want to know.
So mainly pine, but in Ghana we have something called five finger. Not five finger, sorry. Golden apple.
Golden apple.
Right. Over here they call it pomsite. Yeah, for whatever reason.
Yeah, but, we always call like y'all say. I don't know if you said chicken curry chicken, but we're not gonna have that fight now. Just continue
Listen, let me end that argument right here, right now.
Stephan, we can argue now.
No. Listen. So Trinidadians say curry chicken. But it's because of the way they cook their curry. If you look at their curry, and you will realize it comes with an assortment of stuff. There's also pumpkin and bodi and bhaji and all these other things. but the meat that is curried is not a lot of sauce. It's almost like if this is not how it's cooked, but it's almost like if the curry was a rub that they put on the meat. However,
Okay.
in Guyana, curry is like a stew,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you take those two separate experiences, for
Mm.
Trinidadians, where is
Uh-huh.
curry chicken, they
Uh-huh.
are adding, curry to the chicken. But for Guyanese, where is a whole bowl of curry sauce, we are
Mm-hmm.
adding the chicken to the curry, which is why it's
Okay.
chicken curry. But for Trinidadians, it's curry chicken. So we don't need to argue. We can agree to disagree. We just understand the difference.
I was gonna say, I feel like you're the safety net, but that was just take out the. I'll take it. I'll run with it. But team chicken curry any day. Okay.
And that's on period. That's right.
Exactly. Yes. So, you talked about your clients having the right exposure. And I just want to add this in because I'm always like thinking 10 steps ahead in this brain. Well, how do you feel about being like flown out? Like if like let's say for like if I'm having a special event in my life, like can I fly out to take my pictures and do my videography and stuff?
Listen. Well, first of all, let me just answer the previous question, which I think I forgot to answer with the wines. I'm not marketing them yet, but that's just because I want to sort of, kind of perfect it in a marketable way. But coming back to this one, in terms of being flown out to do work, I am all for it because I want to see the world, and I don't want to. Since I was small, which is why I want to be a pilot. I want to get paid to see the world. And I thought, well, that would have been true being a pilot, but it could also be true videography. So if you're going to pay for my flight for me to come up and take your pictures, sis, let's get these pictures taken.
Love it. I love it. So at the end, we're going to talk about how people can contact you. So if, you're like me, you want to book Stephan for any event that you're having, go ahead and do it, do that. So what is your ultimate goal for your company?
So with regards to the videography, photography, graphic design aspect of it, currently I do a lot of the work on my own. This week I wrapped up a project where I brought on board 3 other persons to assist because the workload was just so much. But like when I have smaller clients, I do most of the work on my own. I would like to expand RighteXposure to a place where even if I'm booking smaller clients who can't afford to pay for a 4-man team, RighteXposure could foot the cost, because I want to create an avenue for other people, who have a passion for videography, photography, or graphic design to also, get out there, do work, and create these passionate things. I don't want to have to. I don't want to have to book a client, have to get another check. If we could create other sources of income that could feed into RighteXposure so that I could pursue some passion projects, put some money into shooting a movie or whatever.
Yeah.
Things that people might not pay me for, but I know will add value to people. That's the long-term goal, to create an avenue to generate income, to empower other people, to create an avenue to generate income, to just pass it on generationally. Yeah.
I like the fact that you want to impact people, though. I think that's very important, that you're not only thinking about, I just want to open a company that get rich quick and live life and be a big billionaire in Trinidad or wherever you decide to live out the rest of your days. But I'm happy that you're also thinking ahead, because, you would have had to start it somewhere. And, I don't know, like if you had any mentorship or how that experience was like, but I know, speaking personally, that it's important to have mentors in a field that you are passionate about, in a field you are thinking of exploring. So I think in that, with you eventually like doing that, I think it will be more impactful than you can even imagine. I can even possibly be bigger than the other things that you want, because impacting people is so important.
Yep. So like even when I do work for clients, let's say you book me to shoot a video for you, right? This is a $500 video. However, you only have $250. It's like, all right, we can't create a $500 video. Let's work down and come to the $250. But if I reach and I'm shooting this video, And I recognize, well, a drone shot would look really great right here. It's not in the budget, but it would look really great. I'm gonna give you that drone shot because at the end of the day, the work is bigger than you. And if you are looking at it as just the monetary value assigned to it, then it's probably better you don't do it because you're not truly passionate about this thing and you're really not here to create art that will outlive you. If you're just chasing money, I mean, get a 9 to 5, But if you really want to pursue your passion, that's for the entrepreneurs. Passion is for the entrepreneurs.
I love that.
The paycheck is for the employees.
I like that. Passion is for the entrepreneurs. We have a question. I was going to ask you this question a little further down, but since it's here now in the comments, we're going to just tackle it. How can we see samples of your work?
Well, I have a YouTube page where I post. Well, on the YouTube, I try to show a little bit more of my personal side, but I also post my work there as well. So you could check out Lyrics Massiah on YouTube.
It's linked below, so just click the link. It's right there.
It's also on Instagram. I'm planning to start to release some shorter edited videos just to show people, play around, show people some of the skills. And then I have the RighteXposure Instagram where I show work that I would have done, whether those are photos or videos for clients. So it's available on social media, coming soon as in possibly at the end of February or the end of March. I'll have a website where I can consolidate all of this. And so when I get asked this question again, I can just say, all right, cool, go to the website. And depending on what you want to see, it will be in that particular section and you can check it out.
I think that's great. And I hope that you get the website running and going very soon. I think that is absolutely amazing. I applaud. I didn't know you had a RighteXposure page, but I'll definitely go check it out. And I'll also link it below so people can just click on it and get it very quickly. So one thing I want to ask you about in media is a lot of people most people have cell phones these days. And so we can capture a moment in our phones. Every Samsung or iPhone phone that drops, the pixels, the resolution gets better. So how are you able to combat that with this technology savvy, era, where some people say, oh, I've even heard people say like anybody with a camera is a photographer. Like I don't know if you've ever heard people say that, but I have.
I've heard it.
Yeah. How do you balance that? And even because this is your brand, this is something that you're passionate about, and of course you still want to make an income from this. So how are you able to compete with all of these things that are happening in that aspect?
First things first, I am a Samsung guy.
The
reason I'm saying that is because recently I bought an iPhone. I don't want people to get confused. I still have my Samsung. It's not on me right now, but yeah. What I realized is that a lot of the social media apps are optimized for the iOS platform. And since I'm into social media marketing, this makes sense to have. Now, when I bought this phone, I shot a very short video for my sister, something she needed to submit. And I was looking back at the video and I was like, this video is really smooth. Even though like my hand was probably shaking or whatever, I'm like, the stabilization within this phone, however they're doing it, is actually really good. And since then, I've shot some other sample videos on it, edited on my phone. And it's like the quality is good. And so that's why people who pursue me is like, what kind of camera should I buy? Ting. It's like, bro, if you have a good phone, let's start with that, Eventually you can invest in a camera, but if you have a good phone, let's start with that. Now, in terms of differentiating myself, the camera, whatever it is, if it's a Samsung, if it's a Blue, if it's an iPhone, if it's a Sony, Canon, whatever it is, the camera is only as good as the person behind it. And so what you always have to remember is even if you take inspiration from another individual or you're practicing a skill that you learn from another individual, you should never at any point be trying to recreate what the other person did. If you have a worse camera than they have and you're trying to recreate what they did, you're obviously going to fail, You don't have the same lighting, you don't have the same funds to do what they did. So why are you trying to do what they did? Take whatever is that element that you liked in that video, whether it's the,
Yeah.
how they compose the shot, the colors, or just the idea, and then do it your way. I always say I don't have to be the best videographer. I just have to make this video the best way I can. Yeah. And in that way, I'm not competing with anybody else, Yeah, everybody have a phone and everybody's a camera is a photographer or whatever. Cool. I'm not competing with the other photographers. I'm competing with the previous picture I took.
Oh my God, like,
Yeah.
we're preaching. Oh
So
my God, I like that.
in terms of differentiating myself, I just try to stay true to my own vision because that's something nobody else could compete with me with. Nobody will be able to see the way I see.
Oh my God.
And I just have to translate that into a video or a picture, and I'm good to go.
That is so amazing. And for even people who are looking or will look once this broadcast has ended, and you are passionate about something, you want to get into something. There's so many things I want and plan to, and in my head, it's already done. It's just a matter of getting it done physically.
Yeah.
But it's so important to remember, it's not to compete. Like you said, the only thing you compete with is the picture that you last took. And I think that's absolutely amazing. I'm in a lane by myself and I will do what I have to do because I have the sauce and the ingredients to make my thing work.
That's
and be
right.
Great.
You got the
that.
sauce.
I absolutely period. So I want to ask you, this is a twofold question. So what has been your most fun experience since you started? What has been your most challenging experience? You could answer it in any order, but that's the question. What's been most fun for you? What's been challenging for you?
My most fun experience, I think, was this week. So, non-disclosure, but I got a contract for a client, and it's a lot of work, as I mentioned previously, and so I couldn't do it by myself. I brought on another photographer, another videographer, and another girl who assisted with audio. I was still sort of overseeing everything, making sure the shots were lined up the way I wanted them, making sure the audio was coming through clear and all that. But then I would let them handle it. And, when you're in the middle of the shoot and you don't also have to worry about audio, you don't also have to check the other camera, you don't also have to be taking pictures, you could just focus on what it is you're doing right now. That was a really great feeling. I know sometimes, like when you're in a particular field, there's this trap that we could fall into of competing with everybody else because it's like, if they get a client, then I can't get a client, and if I bring them, then they gain some of the money, and I not gain all of the money. But it's like working with people. It's human interaction is such a great thing. It's such an underrated thing, and so being able to work with these people after doing so much by myself, especially within COVID, having to do all that by yourself. Being able to lean on some of these individuals who are very reliable. I didn't have any complaints. It was smooth. That was one of the highlights of my career to this day. We actually wrapped up shooting earlier today, which is mostly why I still have on this juicy, because we were shooting. No, one of the worst experience I had, and this is on the other side of human interaction, is sometimes you get some clients that boy,
Test your patience.
God need to bless those people. Yes, because child.
Oh
I
my
remember
God.
we were booked, my friend and I, we were booked to shoot a sort of concert for this band. And there was a particular time frame that it was set for, this time to this time, which was about let's say 4 hours. So from from 6 to 7, 8, 9, 10, right? So let's say 6 to 10, and we just say, all right, cool. Let's say 6 to 11. So at 11 we wrap up, whatever, cool. At 1:30 in the morning, we were still shooting this thing.
Oh my God.
And like the person we were shooting for, she is not the easiest individual to interact with. Let's just put it like that. Yeah. So is that whole like
I could
it
just
was
hear it in the ear and in the way you're explaining it. And I totally get it.
Mhm.
There's this I think it's Drummond Edwards. He has a song, and in one of the songs he says sometimes he feels like his neighbors migrated from hell. And sometimes that's how you can feel people. I mean, people can be great, but then people are people. So,
Girl.
sometimes,
Hmm.
but I thank God for patience. And I think 2020 for me and everything else it has taught me, one thing I have definitely grown with in 2020 was my patience. It wasn't necessarily thin, but I my mouth can be hot from time to time. But now, I'm working on it, and 2020 has definitely taught me, how to be more patient, a little bit more understanding of where people are coming from. I mean, some people overdo the do. Don't get me wrong. I think that was like overdoing the do if you scheduled for how many hours and they're going way overboard. But we just gotta let go, let God, and just push through. We love what we do. So sometimes when we love what we do, we have to deal with the good and
And
the
the bad.
bad that
But I was
comes with
actually
doing.
so
Go ahead.
how you mentioned loving what you do. And I just
Mm-hmm.
wanna jump in right there just to kind of talk to some of the persons who will be watching this video right now, probably. Um,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you're doing something that you love, you need to be
Mm-hmm.
mindful of how the people that you interact with are affecting your passion for this thing. Because think of it
Mm-hmm.
like this. Think of it like this, right? If
Mm-hmm.
you, let's say you love, um, like for me, I love shooting videos. I pick up my camera right away, run out to shoot something. Next week, somebody calls me to shoot a video for them, and I picked up one time. I run out and I shoot this thing, but it's a difficult experience because they're nagging or whatever. Some of the promises they make, they don't hold their end of the bargain. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
The week after, somebody calls me and I hesitate. I need to be mindful of that. And then similar experience is a negative experience. And then the week after that, somebody calls me and I take a day to respond. And then the next time somebody
Mm-hmm.
calls me, I take a week, and then I take a month, and then I take a year. So it's like you have to be mindful of how these negative experiences impact your passion. Because if
Mm-hmm.
every time I pick up a camera, it's this fight down, I'm going to associate picking up a camera with this
Yeah.
negative outcome, and it's going to affect my passion for this thing. So,
Mm-hmm.
to you watching this video, be mindful of the experiences you are allowing yourself to go through, because if you work with a client, they might be paying great, but it's a toxic environment. You might have
Mm-hmm.
to sacrifice that paycheck to maintain your passion. Remember, passion is for the entrepreneurs. And
Mm-hmm.
if you're just looking for the money, then are you really passionate about this thing? Because what
Mm-hmm.
I've recognized is that passionate people progress into receiving paychecks eventually, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But the people who chase paychecks, they settle in that 9 to 5, and you know what? 5,000, sure, at the end of the month, 5,000,
Yeah,
5,000.
that's guaranteed. Yeah.
Passionate people, you might make 500 this month, you might make
Mm-hmm.
5,000 next month, you might make 50,000 a month after, 500,000, 5 million. It's exponential. And that's the
Mm-hmm.
return on passion. So guard your passion, be mindful of the experiences you
Mm-hmm.
allow yourself to go through.
I just want these nuggets. The next time I see your father, I'll be like, give the pulpit to Stephan. Okay, like he know what he's talking about. It's gonna be in good hands.
Mm.
So I know my family and I, well, we watched it together. We watched all the episodes of Lost in Soca. It was fun. Like we would be in the bedroom and we'd be harmonizing a theme song, and we'd be like we'd have a good time. We loved it. We were looking at like some of the scenes. We were like, oh my god, remember when we were there? We used to play there, like that. Like it was very nostalgic for us as well. And
Yeah.
so it was fun though. It was good. We got to see your creative side, your siblings' creative side. So can we expect a Lost in Soca season 2? Can we expect another series? Anything of that nature?
So this is not the first time I've gotten this question,
Uh huh.
and unfortunately, La Sansuka is done. right? There will be no reunion or
Heart
anything like that.
breaks.
But that whole idea of creating this, sort of sitcom or reality show is one that is still alive within our minds. And so the name Lost and Soca might be dead, but we might bring back something else. And like since I've shot Lost and Soca, my whole, the knowledge I have of videography and editing, all these things has grown. So the quality of, let's just say a Lost and Soca 2.0, the quality would be better. And you can expect something like that in the future in a more I want to say sustainable way, so that it's not something that would just start and drop off because we can't keep it up. We would create it in such a way that we could keep giving you guys content if you enjoy it. So subscribe to my YouTube channel so that when that drops,
subscribe. Yes.
yeah.
Subscribe. Shanae's in the comments saying that obviously Shanae was her favorite character in and Sarah's like Team Janae. Oh my god, y'all saw. It was a good show, though. It was really good. It was put together. We were laughing. We found it funny from the start.
What did you think about Khaled DJ's mother?
He was funny to me. He was so funny to me. Just the whole thing with like who like ended up becoming like the baby daddy and everything. Like it was just like it was it was just funny from beginning to end. I totally enjoyed it. So even if we don't get Lost in Soca again, I'm looking forward to something because from what I have seen from you, your work is great. Your quality of work is great, and your stuff is entertaining. So it's not like, oh, you're going to be like, oh, like this is a drag or whatever. It's really, really good stuff. Stuff that you'd want to watch again and again and again. Share, be like, yo, like look, share with your friends and your family. Like, look at like we watched every episode together as a family. That's how good it was.
Nice.
So I know when the reality show comes, if you can come back on this platform, we can plug it, and I would definitely be watching it. So before we wrap up, I got another comment saying the scenes used to go from 0 to 100 real quick. They really did. They honestly did.
So like even when we were planning like the scenes, right? Like we would be looking for, because we never really intended for it to be long episodes. So from the get-go, we were trying to figure out, okay, what is the drama going on here?
Going on in this episode, yeah.
Yeah, where are we going and get to? And you need to get it quickly to keep people engaged and all that stuff. But also just for it to be fun, Like let's get to the bacchanal,
Yeah. So we have a question. Okay, when you're done, I'm gonna ask you it.
But it was also a lot of work. Especially since it was just the three of us, and like we had, like,
so that's the question about how did you guys manage switching?
What was the question?
Your characters. Each of you, I think, played. How did you manage switching characters? Because I think each of you played 2 characters each. Yeah.
So
I know some people have to die and all these kind of things.
Yeah. So I mean, off the top, whenever we wanted to introduce another character, we kind of had to kill one because there's only so much we could do. But like particularly the scene where Shanae and Janae were in the booth together singing. We had to plan that, and then we had to shoot it half and half so that I could then edit it to make both of them be there at the same time. But then even like for Stephanie, who played those characters, she now had to be mindful of the differences in the characters, clothing wise, but also like the choices that, because most of it was improv on this, like we know an idea of where we're heading, but in terms of the lines and that kind of thing, it's just improvisation. So and that's why I said it's a lot of work. As simple as it might look to some people, like we had to set up each one of those shots to make sure it was lit properly. So, like I wish I could have shown you now the setup that I have here just for this live. But that's just the kind of person I am. Like I don't like to
if you're doing something, you like to give it 100%.
Exactly. So like we had to plan all of that out. And then scenes where you would have persons who play 2 characters, both of those characters showing up in the scene.
We
would have to plan it out and shoot it. They would have to change and come back and shoot it and make sure that certain things line up. So it was a lot of work a lot of planning, but
Mm-hmm.
it was also fun, and so there was a sort of balance in terms of, okay, yeah, it's a lot of work to do, and like sometimes we'd be tired, we'd be really tired, but it's like, you know, at least, and that's also the reason we had to kind of end the show, because it's not something we could have kept doing,
Kept going.
because we started Lost and Soca in the height of the lockdown due to
Mm-hmm.
COVID-19, so we were home, and that was the first week of Lost and Soca. And then the second week of Lost and Soca, things were starting to open. People had stuff to do.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
so it's like we have less time to do
To
this
get.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
And also, like, you'd be really tired after, and to go and so, like, all right,
Exactly.
we need to
Yeah.
kind of wrap this up.
Wrap this up.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. So we have someone saying they want to be in the next one. And the other question for you is, how difficult was it to play the role of, well, Khaled DJ's mom?
Okay. So the all right. So for me personally, if I know most of you watching probably don't know the kind of person I am, but I'm very open-minded and I am very adventurous too. So, like, playing another gender,
Mm-hmm.
and even I forget his name, but like one of the stylists that came in, who was
Oh
who
yeah, I remember you have a dog, and yeah, how can I forget?
right. So it's like I have no problem, sort of, because I'm so secure in myself. I have no
Yeah, as
problem
you should be.
stepping out and trying those things. But
Mm-hmm.
then once you get past that part, there's
Mm-hmm.
also the commitment to the character, in terms of, if your character has an accent, or he or she talks
Yeah.
differently,
Mm-hmm.
you need to hold on to that. Like, the hardest part of playing Khaled DJ's mother, and
Mm-hmm.
you wouldn't know it because we wouldn't let it show up on camera, is
Mm-hmm.
the wig.
Mm-hmm.
The hair was constantly in my
Oh
face
my
and
god.
in my mouth.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like, we tried to put it in a
Oh, like a
ponytail or
ponytail.
whatever,
Uh-huh.
but the strands, like, every time you take it off and put it back on, the strands were just, and that felt
Oh
like, when
yeah,
I
I can.
sleep, I can't cover my face with a sheet, because just the sheet, it just feels weird to
It
me.
just feels like, oh my god.
So
Wow.
in the middle of a scene, let's say the hair comes like
Uh,
and one strand or whatever, and it's just there. I
mm,
can't constantly be trying to think, and
yeah.
I just had to bear with it, finish
Ah,
the scene,
yeah.
and then afterwards
Oh
take
my
it off.
god.
But it's like that kind of, so the person who wanna be a part of the next episode, just know that we're looking for that kind of commitment.
Yeah,
Right?
and I was just about to say, even from you, with your right exposure stuff, you could even probably extend it to supplying actors, because you clearly know what to do. That's something you can think about, the other side of production. In front of the
True,
camera, not
true,
only behind it. You never know.
true.
You know,
Yeah.
you gotta roll with the punches, and it's good. I really enjoyed it. So
Mm-hmm.
before we close off today's episode, which was fantastic, by the way, my
Mm-hmm.
ad. How can you be contacted? How can we book Stephan Massiah to come take our pictures and make our melanin or whatever, pop, make us glow, make us get more than our regular likes on the gram? How can we
Mm-hmm.
contact you?
So, first of all, you can reach out to me on social media, of course. So on Instagram, Facebook, and even YouTube. Drop a comment or
Mhm.
whatever. An email. So it's Lyrics Messiah, which is LYRICSMASSIAH. So on Instagram at Lyrics Messiah, on YouTube, Lyrics Messiah, on Twitter at Lyrics Messiah again. And then the email is lyricsmessiah@gmail.com. So any one of those platforms, you could feel free to reach out to me. And
Mhm.
there is nothing that is, outside of what I'd be willing to assist with
To
as
work
best
with.
as I can. Yeah.
Mhm.
Obviously, if I know I can't do it for you, I would point you in the right direction to say, yo, because putting you in the right light might mean that my light is not the best light for you. And that's fine. That's fine. I can
Mhm.
point you in the direction of somebody who could put you in the right light. But yeah,
Yeah.
feel free to reach out to me on any one of those platforms. Let me know what you're trying to get done, and let's see how best we could put you in the right light and give you that right exposure.
There you have it. This was indeed a fantastic interview. I got a lot of love in the comments. Best of luck in your endeavors coming in from the comments as well. And I want to reiterate that same sentiment. Best of luck to you. I am supporting and I'm proud of you. So everyone that's watching this live, thank you. To everyone that's going to watch this as a rebroadcast, I hope that you have as much fun as we had having this conversation.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for agreeing to do this with me.
If you would like any, sort of advice with regards to, running these lives, because
definitely.
Yeah,
we're trying to make it big and better in 2021. So I'll be reaching out.
We got even like some like getting, the angles that change and that kind of thing. I could assist you in some better.
We can talk.
Nice vibes. I like it.
I want to thank you so much once again. For those of you watching, please remember, like this video. You got a lot of we had a word, we had skin teeth, we had conversations, we got wine. There's so many things that happen in this one video.
Yes.
Like it, share it, and of course, if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. Please, I already linked Stephan's YouTube channel in the description bar, so subscribe to his channel as well and go follow him for all this amazing work. Because if you miss Lost and Soul, you miss something big and you don't want to miss the next one. Okay? That's all. Exactly.
That's what Mary had a little lamb.
Period. So thank you guys very much. Remember, live interviews come every week, so tune in for next week's interview. Until next time, this is your girl KK. I'm with Stephan, and we're both saying goodbye.
Adios.
Peace out, guys.